Joining us now to provide some added context to what we'll be watching in North Carolina is Catawba College professor of history and chair of the politics department. It's Michael Bitzer. Professor, thank you so much for being with us on a very busy night. Anything stick out to you? Anything surprise you so far in these early numbers? All right, we're going to try and get back to Michael Bitzer. Michael, we can't hear you right now. We can see you. You look great. We're going to go back to him.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
We can hear you.
You heard my question, right?
I did. I think the dynamic of the early vote is playing out as we expected. It is certainly something that Democrats bank their ballots early and want to get those numbers up. But this year, in terms of both unaffiliated and registered Republicans, their numbers actually increased in terms of who was casting early ballots. So it may be a little bit closer in terms of the in-person early votes. We will have to watch and see who has shown up on this day for Election Day. Republicans tend to do very well, so that may be the deciding factor moving towards later this evening.
Michael, talk about the importance of independent voters, because out of our 7.4 million registered voters in North Carolina, now the unaffiliated group makes up a larger group than both the Democrats or the Republicans. So how will they factor into the results tonight?
They are certainly the largest block of registered voters, but they tend to have the lowest voter turnout rate. And I think that that dynamic will play again. These are probably the least engaged types of voters. Some of them are masked partisans, but others are floaters. They tend to move back and forth between the two political parties. North Carolina has a history of swing voters, but that percentage has dropped considerably over the past 20 years, and I think that those swing voters that may bounce around the ballot could be the deciding factor moving towards whoever wins election this evening.
Michael, we see in midterms often the party in power tends to suffer great casualties. Any reason to believe that won't be the case again this year in North Carolina?
I think the historic dynamic is certainly playing itself out again. With Joe Biden's approval ratings in the low 40s, we should expect anywhere from 20 to potentially 40 congressional seats between the House and the Senate lost. I think the dynamic here in North Carolina is, with this congressional map that only holds for this year's election, the districts are so reliable in terms of their voting patterns because the voters are so loyal that I would be surprised if there's really any kind of shakeup. Probably an 8-6 potential Republican advantage, but it could be a 7-7 split among the 14 congressional districts.
All right, it'll be a long night. We're ready for it. We know you are too. We appreciate you joining us tonight. Michael Bitzer with Catawba College. Thank you so much for your time.